What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Adobe Photoshop Masterclass course. We are going to be walking through important shortcuts. Now, this right here is something that maybe it would be worth to keep a little notes on, all right? Because at first, before the shortcuts become kind of ingrained into your maybe muscle memory or normal memory, you know, until they become something that you sort of naturally remember, it could be useful and it could save you time to actually just keep a little document sheet maybe open on the side of your screen or maybe your other monitor if that's something you're able to do, and just have these couple shortcuts down because they'll 100% be saving you time and definitely be saving you time with the maneuvering process between different projects, etc. So we're going to be walking through the important shortcuts, okay? And I'm actually going to go ahead and start on our normal tool right here, and I'm going to introduce about as basic as it gets in terms of the shortcut family, which is Save. Control S. As you see right there, some little flick happened because there was unsaved stuff on the screen. For example, if we were to, you know, literally just get a brush, for example, and say we just change the color to black and just did a couple things right there. That's obviously not saved. If we closed our program down, it would prompt us to save. It would pop up with this because it's unsaved progress. So let's click cancel. So something to get in the habit of right away is pressing Control S, and you see that little thing happens because it saved it, right? Pressing Control S after any major or even minor adjustment that you do, all right? Now, another perfect one that we can showcase here, right, is very relevant to that, and that's Control Z, which is undo. Control Z, undo. If you do anything that you kind of regretted, Control C that and undo. And alternatively, you can also go up here and redo, which is Control Shift Z if you want to bring it back. But I'm going to press Control Z, undo that, and walk you guys through how to save as. So for example, if we'd already saved it, if we press Control S, nothing happens. But if we want to, for example, maybe change the file type, etc., we can press Control Shift S, which actually enables us to bring up the Save As Type window, which enables us to do what we kind of briefly looked at in the shortcuts section, in the file type section, which we ended off the last episodes with. This right here is similar. We can actually use some of those different file types that we kind of demonstrated, and you can actually put them to work here with the Save As. So for example, if we didn't just want to save the project, but we wanted to actually export it and save as a JPEG or a PNG, we could click, do that, put the title in and click Save, and that would go through. So that's Control S being save, Control Shift S being save as, and now we have adjustment tool. Okay, so at the moment you see this little lock right here, but that's only because it's the bottom layer and the only layer. If we click it, it unlocks, and if we had any other layers right here, they would not be locked. And what that does is enables us to adjust, right? It enables us to adjust. So for example, if we want to use the adjustment tool, the actual or adjustment / resize tool, it's not the official name for it, but it's kind of my little dub, if you will. I've dubbed it the adjustment tool. The maneuverability tool is Control T, and what that does is it gives you these options on the side, and what this is options to resize or increase the size, or if you click and hold, you can adjust the position, etc., of your layer. Now, alternatively as well, if you wanted to get into a more advanced adjustment or change the shape further, as you see, these are locked edges. So if we click on the edge, it just changes the whole dimension of everything and scales it in and sort of locks the dimensions. But if we hold Control before we click it, we then click on this point and we have a little bit more leeway, if you will. We can actually kind of manipulate it a bit more, and this is perfect for some custom shapes. So I'm just going to press Control Z to reset that, and as you see right here, if we bring it back into the sort of guidelines or the work area, if you will, we can adjust this to whatever shape we wanted. For example, maybe we bring it down here. Maybe we drag that over there and we drag that in here. As you see, just, a little bit of manipulation. Press Enter to save that, and we've created a custom shape, and that is through the Resize tool. Now, that's especially going to be very, very useful when we are taking certain parts of an image, attaching it to another, for example. Oftentimes, I'm going to walk through how to make thumbnails, etc. A lot of the time, I'll be taking maybe a high-quality screenshot and embedding it onto a screen as if it was taken in the picture. So there's a lot of use for this Control T adjustment tool. Control T, you'll know it's worked when the adjustment properties come up on the side. Now, if you are in all these different tools, the next couple shortcuts are going to save you time jumping between. So for example, say we're in the paint bucket tool and we've just made our canvas black, and we want to now move it around. We could press V, and as you see, this jumps to our selection tool, which is sort of the main tool we use for maneuvering. You can click and hold, and you could drag objects around. Whatever, the mouse is hovering over, you're going to click and hold, and you'll be able to manipulate it and drag it around to where you actually want. Now, that one there is literally the tool that you kind of spend a lot of time in. If I'm actually doing a normal project, I'm in that tool, or I'm in my zoom tool, which just coincidentally, we can cover that one now. If we're up here and press Z, it jumps to the zoom tool. That one is about as straightforward as it gets. I think that's one that I think everybody remembers right off the bat. Z for zoom tool, and another one that they might remember as well is the E. E is for eraser. So as you see, our brush size is massive. We can go up here to the left and click and bring that down a little bit. But E is eraser, which means that we now have an eraser. We could actually go ahead and erase out our situation here. For example, maybe I'll draw my name or whatever, and again, Control Z. Control Z, by the way, is going to undo each stroke. So as you see that was a stroke, so for example, that's one stroke, and then that's another stroke. So if I press Control Z, it undoes whatever the last action was. So each one of those actions counts as a singular action, if you will. Moving on to another very easy one to remember, being T. T is, of course, self-explanatory. Again, the text tool, something very, very easy to remember as well. And of course, once you press T, you'll get this kind of different cursor, which obviously has enabled the text tool, and we see the different fonts, etc. up the top. And you simply click, and that will instantly create a different text layer. Don't worry about the size. Obviously, you can come up here and resize that and actually bring that down a little bit. And that is lorem ipsum, the random text that it chooses to be there. Let's go ahead and delete that. And overall, finally, something that will come into play a little bit more is W, and that is the quick selection tool. All of my brushes are turned up so high, it's hilarious. But W is the quick selection tool, aka the magic wand tool. You click and hold to adjust the different kind of variations, but W is the screenshot. That's going to become very, very, very relevant to you, and it's going to be something I'd imagine you'll be using a fair bit because it's simply so overpowered and 100% something that you gotta be comfortable using. It's going to complement your projects and overall just save you time in the future with a lot of different stuff. But that right there is the important shortcuts. We're going to move on to important tools coming up next in the Adobe Photoshop Masterclass course. Let's keep going.